This week on the Dawg Show, we'll preview the Georgia Bulldogs versus the Auburn Tigers. So grab you a cold beverage and let's go. All right, guys, this week we've got the Georgia Bulldogs traveling to Jordan-Hare Stadium in Auburn, Alabama. This is Georgia's first road game of the season.
And first loss.
Oh boy! So this is a good rivalry for our show because you guys know that me and Chris and Josh are all big Dog fans, and Jeff, of course, is an Auburn fan. So this past week with the UAB game, we were all down in St. Simons at a pretty cool spot called Brogan's.
Well, that depends on who you ask.
So they had 7 TVs in there, and all 7 of them were on the Georgia game. And the best part is every time Georgia would score, the entire place, they would play the Georgia fight song. It's super loud. Everybody was screaming, and every time you'd pan over and look at Jeff, it's just like he was about to throw up. So it was pretty amazing.
I mean, he had the time of his life there, let's be honest.
Yeah, they're full of shit. It was absolutely horrifying.
So what do you think about that UAB game, Jeff?
I think UAB looked good.
Yeah, they did. All jokes aside, they did look good versus Georgia. I never saw them in a million years putting up 21 points. Georgia continues to struggle on defense, at least in my opinion. They've only got 5 sacks on the year. They only had 1 sack versus UAB. I don't know when we're going to get after the quarterback, but again, maybe we're just waiting in the reserves and the backgrounds for a real team to show up.
Look, Carson had another good day, man. 22 for 32. He had 338, 3 touchdowns. I don't know what the big complaint. I don't understand why it's ever. I heard it again this week. Should Brock be in there more? What is Bobo doing? Da 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 da.
Well, and he's only playing 3 quarters.
I mean, well, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he's thrown for 1,200 yards, nearly 6 TDs, 1 interception. I'm not mad at Carson Beck. He's got a quarterback rating 164.3, so he's doing his job.
Rushing-wise, I mean, you guys had 188 yards on the ground, 4 touchdowns. It is what it is. It's UAB. They were up for the game, obviously. What was it, right before halftime? Did they fumble or something? Is that how UAB went down there and got back in that game?
Yeah, they did they recovered 1 fumble.
Yeah, that's what it was.
Yeah.
So, little things like that. Now, I mean, again, Georgia was favored by, 42?
44 and a half or something is what I wanted to say.
Was, so,
but Georgia hasn't covered all year.
No.
And, I didn't expect them to cover this one either. And they didn't.
But all in all, I mean, it was another win. It was another practice game. The defense is what it is. I mean, you guys are good. I mean, that's all there is to it. They're good. I mean, yeah, are you going to have a drop-off from last year? Absolutely.
Well, we just don't know how good we are. Like, that's the...
You're going to find out Saturday at 3:30.
I guarantee you. And damn Hugh Freeze comes to town. Go War Eagle Tigers.
Well, I hope we find out at 3:30 on Saturday.
All in all, it was a good game for Georgia. 394 yards in the air, 188 yards rushing. I mean, you held UAB to 86 yards on the ground. My God. I mean, I think Georgia's defense averages like 75 yards per game on the rush.
86 yards on the ground, 250 in the air.
Yeah, less than 350 yards altogether. Defense played solid. Brock Bowers had 2 touchdowns. That's pretty good.
Well, Georgia, I'll tell you what he's doing right now. He's getting everybody in the game. Like
they're all playing.
Kirby is playing everybody. And I guarantee you when you get in these tight games against these better teams, everybody's not going to be playing. But, we're getting these young guys reps. We're getting them some game time experience. And I hope that people that it benefits the team as a whole. Against UAB, Carson threw to 12 different people.
Yep.
How often do you see that in a college football game? So 12 different people. And then also on the rushing side of it, we had outside of quarterbacks, because, of course, Gunner came in, had a run. Vandergriff got to play a little bit, and Carson Beck. But had 5 different ball carriers coming out of the backfield, 12 different receivers. So they're getting, and then, like I just said, they're getting Gunner some playing time, getting Brock some playing time. So they're getting these guys in the game. So
I mean, look, how do they get motivated to play Ball State,
UT Martin,
UT Martin.
UAB.
Yeah, UAB. I mean,
South Carolina, a
that
little
was
bit.
a little bit, yeah. But
Yeah.
I mean, what do you what do you tell him? Hey, Trent Dilfer's coming to town. He won the Super Bowl in 2001 with the Baltimore Ravens. He's got a team now. I mean, hell, half of them wasn't even born then.
Yeah.
Yeah, the craziest stat I did see all week, speaking of Brock Bowers, was he had 121 yards, but he had 110 yards after the catch. So they were basically just throwing them little dumps,
Letting him go.
and then letting him go. He picked up the one UAB player, just tossed him to the ground, which was pretty good to see.
I mean,
The
all in
guy's
all,
an
man.
absolute beast.
Threw him off the field, basically.
Yeah, he just picked him up with one arm, threw him off the field, kept chugging. I mean, I guess what they're trying to do is just give Carson some inspiration, give him some positivity, make him let him get some easy completions, and then let Brock do the business after that. But offense looks good. My biggest concern again is the defense. But as Chris mentioned a couple times in the past, maybe we're just saving all of our sack plays for future teams. But
Florida probably, right?
Yeah, well, right. You're going to have to after they destroy Kentucky. Golly.
So I do want to give a shout out to Kirby Smart. So this was his 100th game coaching the Georgia
That's
Bulldogs.
right.
yeah, there you go.
85 wins and 15 losses, and that's the best record for any coach at an SEC school after 100 games. Not to mention his 2 natties.
Better than Saban.
By
Yep.
one. He beat
Better
us.
than Saban
Better
by
than
one.
Gus Malzahn. Better than Gene Chiswick. No way.
Better than Bear Bryant.
Better than Tommy Tuberville.
Gus Malzahn didn't even make 100
hated
games in
that
the
song.
SEC, did he?
Oh my God! I met a guy at the beach this week that I was talking to. He was on the beach with his Auburn hat with his grandbaby, and I'm still not convinced because I said tough day for Auburn when I walked by him, and he goes yeah, and we talked, and then he came over and talked to me for a few minutes, and I was staring at him, and he walked away, and I had to Google recent pictures of Tommy Tuberville because I swear I thought this guy was him, but I didn't want to be that guy that was like, what's your name, So I didn't say anything.
Could have been.
But
Yeah.
I mean,
Senator.
I was, Senator.
Yeah, I was about to
Tuberville.
say he's a senator.
But
for
I mean, I was in
Alabama.
a nice area of Florida on a nice beach, where a lot of
Could've
people
been.
have some money, and it wasn't very crowded. It was kind of one of those areas that's kind of secluded in the middle of Destin. I'm still not convinced it wasn't him. But anyway, moving on to this week, is
All right.
Georgia going to be able to put all their second, third, and fourth string players in against Auburn and get the continued practice for the whole team?
Probably by the end of the first quarter.
come on.
Let's just be honest. I know we didn't have a quarterback when the year started. Okay, go out. They get Peyton Thorne after the spring game, Michigan State. Let me tell you what QB1 did last week for Auburn against Texas A&M. He was 6 for 12, 44 yards, averaged 3.7 yards per pass, no touchdowns, no interceptions.
But is it on him? Is it on him, or is it
Yes.
shitty play calling? It's on him. No, it's he just sucks.
okay, so the play calling is, Philip Montgomery, old Tulsa head coach, Hugh Freeze has turned the reins over on the play calling. He's stepped out of the play calling. It's killing him. He can't stand it. It's killing him. But he's doing it to try to get a hold of the program, recruiting the whole 9 yards. He wants to get all the guys in there, and then maybe he'll make an adjustment.
A hold of them.
A hold of them. That's right. So the play calling is whatever it is. We don't have the dudes anyway. We don't have the dudes to go do what Georgia does or to go do what Bama does or LSU. We just don't have them. We got a lot of transfers. I mean, last week, our leading receiver, 2 catches, 23 yards. He was our running back. That was our leading receiver. I mean, against Texas A&M. So I'm at a loss for words right now. Our offensive line cannot block anybody whatsoever. Our defense is on the field half the game or more anyway. I'm sick of it, and it's only the, 5th game?
Well, I do want to say that the only team that Auburn has played this year that was halfway decent.
Well, they got 2, Cal and Texas A&M, right?
Cal's terrible.
Yeah, I mean, I would call
scored
Cal
4
halfway
points.
decent.
All right, let me rephrase that. The only team that they beat this year that was halfway decent was Cal, and they only still could score 14 points through the whole game.
Yeah.
They just luckily only gave up 10.
Yeah.
Well, it's a 3:30 game. it is a home game. Auburn always gets up for big games, and this is a deep South rivalry for the SEC.
Well, Georgia's 14.5-point favorite. They got the total at 46.5. You'll probably see that by the end of the first quarter, but we're in trouble. We're in deep, deep trouble.
Well, the Bulldogs have won the last 6 in a row over the Tigers. They hold a 63, 56, and 8 tie advantage in this series since they've been playing. Auburn's last win was 2017, and that same time, the Bulldogs come back and avenge the loss when they beat them in the SEC championship. So
yeah, that was the day that Jeff was standing out on our front driveway watching the game while we were all sitting inside the house. I thought he was going to break something that night.
Kerryon Johnson, our running back, man, he got hurt, and that was the end of that. So
yeah. I mean, not only has UGA won the last 6 games, but they won by a combined score of 178-57. So they've absolutely done work. Auburn's one-dimensional. They can rush a little bit, but I heard, is Jarquez Hunter going to be in the game?
Jarquez Hunter's playing, but Damari Alston is out.
Okay, Damari Alston's out.
Like really dynamic. I mean, he's really stepped up this year because Jarquez didn't play the first game, and
I mean, you are second currently in the SEC in rushing, but
798 yards, 10 touchdowns.
But you're dead last in passing offense.
Yeah, 693 yards, 5 touchdowns, 3 picks.
Yeah, that's not good.
No, Peyton Thorne's been sacked 10 times. He's threw for 4 touchdowns and 3 interceptions. That's our QB1. Robbie Ashford, God help him. We got, he transferred out of Oregon and come here when Gus was here, and it's been a nightmare for that kid. I hate it for him, but he's not a quarterback. He's an athlete.
Well, it doesn't look like we can get after the quarterback. So.
Thorne got benched last week, too, in the middle of the game.
And then they brought him back in. Well, look, we're one-dimensional, like you said. Our offensive line is just horrid. You guys are – what are you going to do? You can play man the whole time. I mean, I don't,
Yeah. I definitely see a stack in the box playing man the whole time. Yeah, stopping the run.
What are you afraid of?
Yeah, force you to run or try to run.
I mean, they benched Thorne last week because Ashford was god awful. They put Thorne back in. It's 3rd and 25. He don't even throw it past the line of scrimmage. I mean, I don't even know what to say anymore. It's going to be a long, long year. I'm glad we got the first 3 wins because guess what, brother? We might not be getting no more.
When it's 3rd and 9 and the receiver runs an 8-yard route,
well, yeah,
that's when you're fucked. And that seems to be like your motto this year.
I mean, that's pretty much what happens all the time. I mean, our receivers are we're just not good, man.
Yeah, well, let's talk about the Georgia injuries. We still have several guys that are out. Javon Bullard is he's questionable with his ankle. Roderick Robinson, ankle, also questionable. Ladd McConkey with his back. We haven't seen him all year. Kendall Milton with the knees questionable. Yeah, so we still have a lot of key weapons that have been out most of the year, and, I mean, they're not getting reps.
Yeah, Mims, the right tackle, is he back yet? Is he all right or no?
No,
so he's out.
He's out.
He's out. So we had 6 starters not play last week.
Yeah, Mims is having that tightrope surgery.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
So he's going to be out for a while.
But now I did hear Kirby talk about Ladd today.
Yeah,
But I don't think he's going to play though. Not the way Kirby talked. Kirby, you know how he is. But what do they need him for?
Well, but here's the thing though: if these guys aren't getting the reps, they're not getting game time. Right, so you risk them getting hurt or not fully recovering, but you also risk them getting out there when they do play somebody when they need them, and they just look rusty, right? So I don't know what's the right.
Well,
answer.
where is Ladd going to fit in now? Okay, so now your leading receiver now, Brock Bowers, 22 catches, 256. Okay.
Yeah, people are saying he's not getting the ball enough. He's double the next receiver.
Yeah. Jack Saints, 11 catches, 182 yards.
Right. Who didn't even play the first 1 or 2 games?
Yeah, something. But so where's Ladd even going to fit in here? Like,
I mean, Dominic Lovett is coming in that slot looking fantastic.
He made some incredible catches too.
Ra has been getting in the game last couple. He was nowhere the first couple of weeks, and now he's showing up. Oscar Delp got in, has been getting on the field and making some plays. I mean, the talent pool at Georgia is just
sickening.
It's undeniable. It's undeniable. But the eye test,
Well,
of watching them this year, it leaves a lot to be desired.
but we're going to say that. Look, we're going to say that this week. We're going to say it next week when they go to or when Kentucky comes to Athens. Then the next week when y'all go to Vandy, we're going to say the same thing. Then you get a week off, and then you play the damn cocktail party.
Did you guys ever think that our toughest opponent
would be Kentucky.
After seven games?
Florida or Kentucky.
Hey,
to
listen,
be determined.
It might be
Well,
Georgia
I'm talking
Tech.
about before
It might
they
be.
played.
It might be Georgia
Might
Tech.
be Georgia Tech at the end of the year.
Hey, that Florida defense. Hey, at least we know that Florida's offense is got a lot to be desired.
Dude,
But by
they're
the
going to kill Graham Mertz.
But when Georgia gets to that game, that Florida defense is going to really test the Georgia offense,
The line.
the front line, and they've got some good defensive backs. So we'll see what happens. But you're right. If Kentucky wins the game this weekend against Florida, then the schedule will appear to have Kentucky as our toughest opponent for the year.
All right, so let's talk about game predictions here. Jeff, what are you thinking?
Well, I got Georgia winning 34-13, and that's being generous. Honestly, I don't think Auburn scores double digits. I'm gonna go back and say 34-9.
Josh?
3 field goals.
I think we're all probably going to be within.
Yeah, I'm gonna go 38-10. 38-10. Dogs on top. They're gonna cover this week for the first time all year.
All right. I mean, we're going to continue averaging our 40 points. Kirby's not going to run it up. The question is, what does Auburn do? I got 40-10 maybe.
Oh shit, you got it going over.
Sorry.
What's the line? 14?
14 and a half, 14 and a half, 46 and a half.
I'm thinking 30-13.
30-13.
30-13.
All right. Well,
If we score a touchdown, I'll drink a lot of beer.
You'll celebrate. That'll be reason to celebrate.
We didn't score one last week, except for the defensive got a turnover and ran it back in. Damn offense, damn sure didn't score one.
Nice.
maybe we can get Kirby out there to trip him up this time on
He probably
on the interception pick six.
Well, boys, all I got to say is go Dogs. Sick 'em.
All right, guys. Well, that's our show for the week. We really appreciate you tuning in. Please remember to subscribe and to like, and go Dogs.